What is the perfect way to honor a loved one's memory? Do you have any ideas? If none, our featured author will tell us one. Hello, authors and book lovers alike. Welcome to another wonderful and inspirational discussion on today's author interview. We are now streaming live in our Festival of Storytellers Facebook page and Readers Magnet Facebook page, as well as on our YouTube channel. I'm your host, Mia, and gracing us with her lovely presence and equally lovely books, we have our featured author, Lynda Daniele, the author of the book Grandpa Nick's Bump. Can you show us the book so
Sure.
our author viewers will know?
Mhm.
Very beautiful book. So it's always a joy to be in your presence. Thank you so much for being with us today, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is wonderful.
Yes. How are you feeling today, by the way?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's really nice. I'm in Massachusetts, and it's a beautiful, crisp fall day. It's gorgeous.
Yes, I think it's a perfect day to have our interview. So I'm very excited to learn more about the book, and I'm sure our audiences are too. So to start, I've actually learned, or I've actually seen few of your previous interviews, and I've already quite have an idea about stories that you have, that it's about your husband, your inspiration for them. But authors usually title their books with the focal point or like the very main point of the book.
Mhm.
So I'm interested to get more details why you titled your book Grandpa Nick's Bump. Like, did you focus the story on like sharing his illness? I know that he has one.
Mhm.
He had one.
What happened was my husband was diagnosed with meningioma, and he
Mhm.
had a very large tumor. It was huge, and we never called it a tumor. We only called it a bump.
Oh yes.
And I don't know, kind of it ended up not being cancer, but they thought that it was cancer. So it kind of just helped us to um, get through it a little bit by not calling it a tumor, because that it just sounds awful. So we just called it Grandpa Nick's bump. And
Like yes. To continue. Sorry.
well, it's just that, when you're dealing with something that is that serious, you want to make it as light as possible. And it wasn't even a plan. We just called it a bump. Even when we went to the doctors, we'll say, "Can you take a look at this bump?" We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't call it a tumor. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I think that's a lovely way of like looking into something a little bit severe, a little bit serious. So
Hmm. Hmm.
So are there like a lot of parts or like are there parts in your book that specifically maybe like tackles about discussing the illness or the bump rather or
Hmm. Well, what it is there's four little children who live across the street from me, and actually they're quite older now. They are
Mhm.
two are in college, and the other two are in high school. But this is just a little photograph of them. I never get the angle right
Ooh.
here. Yeah, there you go,
Yes,
and
you can see a little of it.
there you go, and there's Nick with them.
That's
um,
cute.
And so one day they came across the street when they kind of realized that they didn't have a grandfather, and
Mhm.
they asked him to be their grandfather. And so with that, he said, "Of course." And they got to play and everything. They were silly together. We used to babysit. We babysat for all of them from when they were born. And so from there, we realized about that time that Nick was diagnosed. And again, they thought that it was cancerous, but it really didn't end up being cancer. Um, but it's the story of the children going from having a grandfather and being all excited and playing to losing him. And that the children learned a lot through that process,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes.
and I mean, it's difficult for anybody, but to just, when they were really little, they were like from 5 to maybe 5 to 8 or 5 to 9. I mean, they were really little
Mhm.
when all this took place. So, um, and that's basically the whole story. And then they kind of get silly. They play a lot in here. Um, So they're telling over here, they're telling jokes, and she
Oh
falls off
yes.
the couch because she's laughing so hard, you know. And then Sean, this little one, he um,
Mm-hmm.
he made messes everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And one of the other kind of neat things I think about this is that they have to find the Holy Spirit, because that was something that we did talk about. We talked about how God is always with us, no
Mm-hmm.
matter
Yes.
what we do, and they have to find the little dove. Um,
It's
they have to
everywhere in
find
the book, right?
the dove on the pages, so they have to
Yes.
look for the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So we did do that, and I continued that with my second book, The Conductor, as well. But that's kind of the story, and the children saw the bump, they saw it getting bigger, and they just didn't understand. Not that we did either, we didn't understand it either. But they saw the bump and they asked questions, and there's not very many books out there about the death of loved ones for
Of
children.
loved one, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, about that. I think like the topic death is quite can be confusing for children, like right. So
Yes.
I'm interested to know like how did you go about it? Like how did you narrate? I heard that it also the passing of like Nick is also reflected on the book. So I'm quite interested to know how did you like narrate it or how did you go through it in the book?
Okay. Well, what happened was, after Nick died, there was a period of about 3 years that were not good for me. And so then one day I just kind of went to the local YMCA here in town, and I took a writing class. And the writing class helped me to focus on difficult parts of this whole journey, you know, and also helped me to focus on the fun times that we had as well. So I was able to just write a little at a time, and it helped. It really did help. And by the time I finished writing it, I showed it to a friend of mine who um, she likes to read and everything. And she said, "Why don't you get this published?" And I said, "Well, do you think that's really going to be good?" And she said, "Yeah, I think it would be." So I did, with Christian Faith Publishing at first. I did publish that, and I'm going to be republishing it with you guys, with Reader's Magnet, in the next month or 2 months or so. Um, so I'm excited about that process, as well. And
Mhm.
it was this was a long time coming, but I wrote a little bit at a time, and kind of a journal at first, and then it
Mhm.
kind of took the form of a little poem, and then I don't know, the story just came, and I just thought about the children and how they needed to understand that, one, the Holy Spirit is always with us, and two, when we go to heaven, it's my belief that when we go to heaven, it's just like walking through a little veil. You're walking through a curtain. They're there, they can see you. Um, they're just not physically present. And
Yeah.
so and my background is Christian, so it's heaven is a happy place. In fact, one of the things that towards the end is um, the castle that we
Oh,
have.
so that symbolizes heaven, right?
Yes, exactly. There's heaven,
Yes.
and over here is the little Holy Spirit dove here too.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
and then and because of my background and my little beliefs, we have Jesus, we have Nick in heaven, Grandpa Nick, and we have God the Father holding the Holy Spirit. So
Mm-hmm.
The whole Trinity is there.
Yes.
So, and then in the
I
beginning,
love the little message there. I think the like the message there is like even though like a person you're close with has passed away, like they're still there looking at you or looking.
yes, we're never alone. We're never
Yes.
alone. I can read this little part for you if you want me
Yes,
to.
yes. I'm
Okay.
very interested to know.
Okay. It said, let me see if I can get the picture. I'll go this way.
Yes, yes, we
So
can see it.
even though that day was hard and everyone was sad, We know that Grandpa Nick is with Jesus and his dad. No tears or sadness are allowed in heaven, don't you see, as Grandpa Nick tastes snowflakes and giggles and hee-hees.
Oh, also, I see that the narrations are also like very poetic. So,
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Not everything is like a poem. In fact, the pages that are the hard pages when Grandpa Nick passes
mhm.
away are
Yes.
on purpose prose. I didn't want
Oh,
that to be sing-songy.
oh
Um,
yes.
I
Since
wanted it
it's
to
a
kind of,
sensitive topic.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, and
That's
then
very lovely.
I have this other one as well,
Hmm.
Grandpa Nick the Conductor. And this is
Yes.
loosely based on truth. The Grandpa Nick's bump is a true story. This
True
is
story.
very
Yes.
loosely based on.
Can you elaborate on that? Like how is it like loosely only loosely based on his story?
Well, he and my son were trolley operators at a local trolley
Mhm.
museum in Connecticut. And when they were there, they had a little kitty there that um, they kind of adopted. It was kind of like the trolley cat and was all
Mhm.
over the museum and stuff. So this story is loosely based on the kitten and trying to find
Yes.
homes for the kittens,
Oh,
that kind of
very
thing.
cute kittens.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I see that also the narrations are a bit longer this time. So are they still like poetic in a way, or are
No,
they
this is not. These are not. This is more of a story. It's,
also
I
it's
mean,
really a
it's
story?
more in prose. It's more in prose
Hmm.
versus poetry. But what's funny is this person is based on a friend of my son who actually stands like that, and he he's just
Hands in his pockets, yes.
yeah, he's just kind of a cool dude kind of guy, you know.
Does he play like a big role in the book, or is he just like
No,
maybe a
he just
background
happened to
character?
be in the background of that one. But this is the uh oh, here's a picture of my husband and I.
Oh,
That was our
wow.
25th wedding
It's a very
anniversary.
lovely picture.
Yep, yep, exactly. He was always happy. And then let's see, and there's some more. This is when they were both operating their
Up,
trolleys. Yeah, so that's
very
all
interesting.
I can get
That's
close to.
a beautiful touch. Like adding photos of your husband. It's a very beautiful touch on the book.
Yes, yes, and it makes well. That's another thing too. Is I started by making kind of a scrapbook, you know,
Hmm.
with different photographs, and then when I was writing the story, it kind of all went together. So
So you decided to publish it. I think
tried to
it's
publish it.
better
Yeah.
that way.
Uh huh.
Like share the memory of your husband to the world to little children who are interested as well.
Exactly. And now I have a granddaughter who, someday she'll understand that this is like a whole series of stories that happened with our family.
Yes.
So
About that, I'm actually also curious if you have like maybe ideas of maybe incorporating your granddaughter to maybe future books, if you have any upcoming ones.
I do. I'm working on one now. I have a long way to go on it yet, but it's called The Adventures of Grandpa Nick and the Model A. And we
Hmm.
have a 1931 Model A coupe. It's like this car here,
Ooh,
like
like a
that.
vintage car. I
Yep,
see.
yep, 1931. So it's like, 90 years old. It still runs. It's a cute little car. And I'm writing a story about when Nick bought the car when
Hmm.
he was 15, and he fixed it up with some friends, and because he was an engineer, and
Hmm.
it's the story of the owning of the car for many years, and the car is the one that does the talking.
Ooh, right.
See,
Very lovely picture,
yep.
a
So,
drawing.
well, I can't really draw, but
No,
your
it's
people
actually good.
can. Your people can. So this is the car talking here. The
Mm-hmm.
car is the person with it, and the only person talking is the car and tells the story about what's going on. Yeah. So here's a
Ooh, that's
homeless man.
interesting.
We ran into
Yes.
a homeless man, and we gave him a little soda. And then we also have the dove in the corner there.
Yes, it's
So that
still there.
you have to find the Holy Spirit in this one as well. But I think this is going to be more like a chapter book.
Yes.
It'll be a chapter book.
Mhm.
So it goes from when my husband buys it to when my son is about 16. So right now that's kind of where it is, but that might change. I'm still working on it.
So maybe like incorporate a little bit about your granddaughter in there.
Later
Maybe,
on,
perhaps.
later on, yes,
Yes.
probably, yeah, as the story progresses. Um, and I've also been working on a book of about poetry as well. And I wrote over the course of the summer. I took the summer off,
Hmm.
and I just dedicated the summer to writing. And I did about 10 poems over the course of the summer, and um, so I've been working kind of a little bit. I really, really enjoy writing. I really like doing it. It's kind of, I'm older, and I kind of found something that I like to do. Um, you know,
Like writing is ageless, so it doesn't matter if you're older or younger. As long as
uh-huh.
you love to write, that's.
Hmm. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
actually, so for me personally, I actually also want to write a book, and I've written a couple chapters in the past. But the thing is, whenever I reread what I write, I never seem to be satisfied about it. So, like from a perspective of a published author to maybe a can be author, do you have any advice to give? Like,
I think kind of be easy on yourself, and just make it as a draft first. Get
mhm.
your ideas on paper, make it as a draft, and kind of in your mind. It's what I have to do. I have to kind of paint a picture in my mind, and then I say, do I like this? Do I, you know, if I'm talking about a sunset, is it the am I talking about the right colors?
Yes.
Am I describing it? And to try to describe it as if you were talking to a child, so the child can see that picture. But to really kind of be gentle, because we can all drive ourselves crazy. I can't spell and I
I
can't do
agree.
grammar to save my life. I'm not good in it, but I have a very dear friend of mine who's an English teacher. So I give her my stuff.
So you
And
have help. That's
yeah,
good.
I do have help. And a couple of my other friends have been longtime teachers as well. So I don't see my own mistakes. I don't see
Yes.
them. I can see other people's mistakes, but I can't see my own. So I have to have somebody helping me on the side. But I get the ideas down first.
Yes, that's very lovely. So, as much as I'd want or I'd love to hear more about your books and your opinions, your ideas, so we're running a little bit out of time. So I'm sorry about that. So nonetheless, I enjoyed today's discussion, Linda. So to our viewers who are interested in maybe purchasing or knowing more about
I have
Grandpa Nick, so
my little fancy
yes,
writing here.
so you can grab a copy of Grandpa Nick's books on ldanielebooks.com.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
So once again, thank you so much, Linda. And
Oh, thank you, Mia. It's been so nice to meet you. This has
yes,
been
it's not
wonderful.
nice to meet you as well. So I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we can't wait for more books from you in the future. Because as we say here in Reader's Magnet, we share your stories with the world. Thank you and
Yes, you
have a
do.
pleasant day.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.